Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video. And you've heard the old saying before, home is where the heart is. Well, maybe we should adjust that. Maybe we should change that and say home is where the penalties are. Because not only did penalty to Rangers return, but so did we actually playing some nice football. You know what I mean? We had Jack Butland remembering his goal. These attached to the old aims. You had Bajrami finally getting a start, showing his quality, finishing the game with assist. Probably should have finished it with setting. We had the best Brazilian left back there's ever been running the show through the left hand side. You had Tavernier again scoring in the right net for the first time this season. There was genuine positivity there as we go ahead and won our first game back at Ibrox and set up the next cup game that'll be at Hampden. It's ironic how that's worked out, people. We've been waiting so long to get back at Ibrox. We've booked another game at Hampden, but this time we can actually allow it as we obviously reach the next stage of the cup competition where the draw will obviously take place tomorrow. And if you're asking me who do I want to play, who do I want to draw, I would love to draw Falkirk. But we're here not to talk about the future. We're here to talk about what we're just witnessing. That is none other than Rangers 3, Dundee 0, and a game that again finished 3-0. But it could have been 6. And it could have been 7. Now, I know there's going to be long-time viewers of this channel and obviously long-term supporters of Rangers sitting here saying, wait a minute, CJ, we can't exactly start getting the shirts off, shaking them about for beating the likes of Dundee at Ibrox to the scoreline of Rangers 3, Dundee 0. That's what it should be. That's what we should be doing week in and week out. And trust me, I agree with that mindset. You know what I mean? The winning tradition that was installed by the standard that was previously here from some of the great players that's played for this club, led by incredible men in the dugout. I get why people have that standards and expectation on our team, but at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like you should be able to celebrate and be positive and just be happy seeing your team win, because we've talked about the negativity a lot this season. You know what I mean? Before a ball was even kicked, we could feel it in the air. We were discussing it right here, and I feel like we've talked about what needs to be talked about, both what's been going wrong off the park and on the park. Again, it's never personal to anybody. We talk about, I always just try and talk about what I feel needs to be spoken about. It's never a personal, again, it's just business, and this business is our life when it comes to Rangers. And again, we could keep going on about the negativity and talk about what's been going wrong, but what's the point in that? We've done it right here. All we can do is move forward and win games, and since coming back through the international break, that's exactly what we've done, right? The Tannadice game when we bet Dundee United, it wasn't exactly a world setting alight type of performance, you know what I mean? But that's a difficult venue to go, you know what I mean? We've only won 3 of our last 6 visits up at Tannadice. It can be tricky, especially when you consider how low and how bad we felt as both as a fan base and how bad as we were looking on the park. But we won that game. Then we go ahead and play the likes of Dundee, where not too much actually separates the sides, maybe 50 feet, and apparently climate change, but in terms of quality, there's no too much separating both sides. Both have started off pretty damn well, but what you saw was a much sharper performance and a much more positive performance, and again, that's the progression we need at the football club. And again, seeing the likes of the players coming in and getting bled in and getting starts, the likes of Bajrami, the left hand side today, son, for me as a Rangers fan, I'll sit back and smile this weekend saying, you know what, I've seen my team play well, and if we can't enjoy those moments, what are we watching the games for? So apologies if I'm annoying people being happy at that performance, but I am happy, especially doing that left hand side, because I know Dessers won the official man of the match, and shout out to Dessers too, brilliantly taking goals. Again, we're going to speak about him a lot. If you stay for the game recap, you'll hear Dessers' name, and this is nothing towards him either, but for me, the man of the match the day was a young Brazilian left back by the name of Jefte, Triple H, Little H, whatever you want to call the laddie. I thought he was outstanding. And again, this is a guy that's came in with very little experience playing at the top level, that looked very rusty at pre-season, was going to be the backup to Ridvan, but again, Ridvan can't play 4 games without missing 3 months, so he's been thrusted into a difficult situation in a new country with the volatile nature that you're actually seeing both on and off the park, but he's just getting better and better. And I thought the day he was absolutely unplayable, and where Dessers got the goals and Tavernier got the goal and the assist, and that'll take all your headlines, and Bajrami again being brilliant, seeing him getting an assist. But for me, the guy that stood out and won us this game and made a major reason why we were so dominant in this game, in my opinion, is that young Brazilian, as he was absolutely unplayable on the day. And I just thought his connection with Bajrami as well was outstanding. You know what I mean? They played very little together, but the way they worked it. And again, you've got to give credit for Clement, as I can finally start to see something that he's trying to do there, because we know Bajrami's not an out-and-out winger. We've talked about it before. What he is a number 10. He said it before in his own press conference. That's where he wants to play. But when you play the likes of the money we're paying for Tom Lawrence, you're going to play him against the likes of the Dundee Uniteds and the Dundee. I understand that big games, that may change going forward, or at least I certainly hope that's going to be the case. But for these types of games, it makes sense just getting as many quality players on the park at once. And I thought him and Jefte's connection in the left was absolutely outstanding. You know what I mean? Big Jeff was just sprinting his heart out time and time again. He was the pace abuse. He was the runner. He had them on skates. And what Bajrami done so brilliantly was he just held the ball up, slowed up when it needed to be slowed, but then played the wee quick 1-2. Came inside and played off Tom Lawrence, played off Dessers. But again, always had that eye on knowing that Jefte was just going to run beyond his man every single time. And I thought that was brilliant to see. It was something we used to see from the wide tens, if you will, from the likes of Joe Rebo and the Hadji under the previous system that was put in place by Steven Gerrard. But that's the first time a left-hand side, maybe apart from that couple game spell with Ridvan and Oscar Cortez, I went, by God, that's our best area. The part, that's where everything is coming through, and that's where we are cooking the opposition. So aye, for me, for those that is going to be a wee bit doom and gloom in this result, I don't know how that left-hand side was so damn promising, especially when you consider they've barely played with each other. And that actually takes me to one of my main points in the game before, again, we get into the game recap and really break this down in case you actually missed it. I thought today, and this might sound a bit daft, but give me a minute or two, did feel almost pre-season-esque in certain ways that the play broke down, because you'll know what I'm talking about. The first 15 minutes of the game, we were really dominant with the ball. We were playing beautiful stuff. We switches out to Czerny, but Czerny was trying to play into Dessers here. Dessers was maybe making that run, or he was trying to play into Lawrence, but Lawrence was coming in that one. But then Bajrami, when he had the ball, but Dessers was making this run, but Rami thought it was gone. You could see there's just that bit of rust on the actual players, and that's been one of the frustrations I've had for many years, not just under this season with Clement, but previous years. We always treat August and September like it's pre-season, then start playing a bit later on. When it finally drops that pre-season's supposed to be in July, we might start seasons off a wee bit better. But you could see that because there was so much good play, but it was just breaking down as the chemistry and connections not quite there for the final product. But again, we're playing them now. That's what it's going to look like over the next couple of weeks. And hopefully, now that we have talented players and with fresh ideas, there's no beat down with previous failures, that it could bring us some success going forward. Because that, the day, I consider a success. And again, where I sat in front of you many times so far this season, talk about my frustration because we're playing the same people that's failed us all the time. All the new players were sitting on the bench. All the new players weren't playing and we were hearing the same crappy excuses. Well, now I can actually believe a little bit and I can see we are a little bit rusty. I'm seeing the connections that need to be built because they're actually getting to play. So aye, that front four is very dangerous. And I think Iggaman, whatever you want to call. I'm going to start calling him Iggy so people start shouting at me in the comment section below, you know what I mean? Because if it's Iggaman, fair enough, but Clement keeps calling him Iggamani. I don't know where I stand, so Iggy is his new name, right? So Iggy, when he eventually breaks into that team, and it is obviously going to happen, it's going to be a very, very potent attack in my personal opinion. One of the most exciting attacks we'll have. The likes of Bajrami, Oscar Cortez, Dessers when he's on it, Iggaman you've got there. You've got the likes of Czerny, and then Lawrence when you're playing against teams you'll be utterly dominant and he didn't need to do too much running. There's goals, there's creativity in there, and at least there's something to get the old arse cheeks off the seat. So aye, I'm taking this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy and delighted with it, and I'll enjoy my NFL Sunday tomorrow with this on the old Nasher. But I'll tell you, in the third minute of this game, I sat back and went, you know what, it's going to be a no bad day this, because the ball started off with Jefte down the left hand side, plays a nice little ball into the middle, then goes out to Tavernier, then goes to Czerny, who switches the ball completely out to Bajrami, who takes a touch, sizes up. I'm thinking, well, I've seen this before, you know what I mean? I looked at the hell, this one's gone curling right in the top bin, or at least close to it, and it does shank it, and it is gone a bit wide, looking like my drives at the range. Shout out to Peter, by the way, he's a subscriber to the channel when we hit the range this weekend. It was slicing that way, but again, it was promising because you could see, wow, 1, 2, 3 quick passes, and we're playing in a guy that likes to shoot. That's exciting rather than the boring, mundane centre back to centre mid, centre back to centre mid we've seen far too long. It's almost like we've cut the BS and cut through about 10, 15 needless passes to get the ball to danger men who are now in the starting 11. But again, as we mentioned, there was sort of that pre-season feel as it just wasn't coming out, as the final product was either behind the man or too far in front of the man, or someone was making the wrong run, as we were just trying to find each other out and see what people like. So skipping by the opening 15 minutes after, again, that promising spell, you're going to go to the 17th minute where we well and truly take the lead in this game, deservedly so. And again, it starts with Big Jeff doing the left hand side. Sorry if you're getting bored to hearing it already, but you're hearing them a lot, and he plays it in to Bajrami, who hits a wonderful ball into the mix. And to be fair, Dessers does everything right here, gets a shot on target, gets a smart save with the goalie's feet. It goes out to Tavernier, who rips it, and he keeps this one low, and it goes into an area where Dessers, you could call it lucky, you could call it whatever, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt with it's a smart wee kiss into the back of net with sort of the outside of the heel or just on the heel. I couldn't exactly see from the exact bit that I saw it, but again, it looked like a beautiful wee touch finish here. And again, it all starts with that positivity down the left hand side. It was just a shame Bajrami was robbed of that goal, as that pass into the Dessers' feet in the 8-yard box was incredible, because that's the space that needs to be created versus teams playing as defensive, but it just split the defence in two and gave Dessers a clear sighted goal. But again, it was a good save, and then Dessers eventually put it into the back of net, and that started the show. Or at least it could have, ladies and gentlemen, as again, 19th minute in the game, it starts down the left-hand side where Big Jeff combines with Bajrami again, and it's a beautiful wee one-touch pass in behind the defence. Again, they've clocked it. Smart players just stand out. See, when you didn't just strangle them in their creativity, say, no, I want you to do this, and I want you to do... If you just let them be creative, the way Bajrami was just getting the heat up and just pinging passes first time, nonchalant to the back, he was just playing in Big Jeff, because it was clear Jeff had the entire left-hand side on toast, so they were just playing it to him constantly, and he burns down the left-hand side, whips it into the mixer, it falls to Tavernier again, very similar to what happened 2 minutes ago, but this time he sends it up to double Z, ladies and gentlemen, and Disney get it on target. Probably showing you there's a slight difference in Tavernier these days, but again, positive. Then we had a little bit of a scare as that high line from Rangers was breached with one simple long ball. One day we'll address it. One day we'll address it. Ends up getting played in behind, but to be fair, Jack Butland is off looking like a sweeper keeper, truly like Neuer at the 2010 World Cup, as he's off his line early, hits a wonderful slide challenge. And the best thing you could say about Butland there is not only is it a great slide challenge to win the 50-50 and stop possibly an easy goal and maybe even a red card, but ends up winning the throw as well. So shout out to Big Jack, who, I don't know if it was that moment or no, he just seemed to settle after that little manic moment for the defence, and he had the big moment and the big response to the crowd sang his name. I don't know if that just settled him back in, but I thought after about the 22nd minute of this game, Butland was back looking calm and assured. Maybe he just needed that moment, you know what I mean? Get that way to feel good about yourself after a spotty start to the season, maybe a difficult end to last, but he was brilliant, and again, we'll speak about him in the next couple of minutes too. Now, the 35th minute of the game is actually a counter-attack from a Dundee set piece. You know, we're doing what normally happens to us, and it was a brilliant counter-attack as well, where Big Jeff gets up there, wins the header. You get a sort of brave, what did you call it, a competition in the air between Tom Lawrence and the Dundee defender. Again, Lawrence says they win this or that, but the fact he's up there, he makes it difficult, that then plays it to Bajrami. And again, Bajrami's just a clever player. Does he rush the pass? Does he try anything stupid? No, he knows, and he just orchestrates the entire thing. As Dessers is there here wanting the ball, but Bajrami's like, just run into the massive space in the middle, Dessers, and get onside. I'll play it to you. Dessers makes the run inside where all the space is. Bajrami plays it into him, and then, to be fair, again, Dessers does everything right. Runs to the left-hand side, plays a shot with his left foot, tries to peg the goalkeeper in a non-demonetisation type way. YouTube, behave yourselves. Comment section below. But again, the goalie's feet managed to shut on time, and it stops Dessers a cheeky wee finish, and Rangers a deserved second goal. Now, that was an important tack to break down, because it then sets us up to the following set piece, which again starts a string of incidences that have truly confused me to the core. So hopefully some people are still watching the video right now, right? So there's corners coming in, and Dessers is just getting like finishing moves put on him. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure one time he gets the free amigos, he gets the bear to belly, it gets dropped on his Nasher, and the defender, in fact, he's not even a defender, he's a centre mid, he's a sort of holding midfielder, not Silla Black, anyway, as he was just yanking him down, pulling him down, putting him in headlocks. There was one point, he's had both arms round him, and just yanked him off the grunt. And the one in the, because it happened in the 35th minute where it was a bit of a collision, but I'm thinking, because I've got scar tissue for Dessers, oh, he's just flopping again. It's the boy that cried wolf. Dessers, you're hurting yourself with that, Ian. But in the 38th minute, it's unforgivable because the referee's angle, and you see it, he's looking right at it. And again, the two arms round pulls him directly off the feet. Dessers goes up like this, looking like I got the angle. Slam, hits the grunt. He's adamant it's a penalty. He's screaming it's a penalty. He's wanting VAR to check it. And despite the referee looking at him getting the finishing move put on him, he starts to lecture Dessers to calm down, to keep his mouth shut. Keep his mouth shut for what? Is he telling you how to do your job correctly? This is what I didn't like about these part-time referees, man. They just got such an incredible ego on them. It was clear it was a penalty, but because Dessers spoke up and told me to check VAR, he's like, nah, I'm not checking, nah. Look at my wee whistle. God, I hate the people that was bad at PE. I really do. Now, trying to compose myself and keep my whatever sanity I've got left, I can forgive. No, I can't actually. What's the word I'm looking for? I can let it go if there's no penalties given for that, right? But see the two incidents in the 33rd minute and the 38th minute, then what happens early in the second half, somebody must have had a word with the referee, and this is where I would love referees to get interviewed at the end of the game, you know what I mean? If they can change title runs, if they can change games with the complexions with their egos, they should be able to stand here with a microphone at the end of the game and explain their decisions, because I'm jumping to the second half. I know Dessers should put the ball in the back of net one more time before the end of the actual game that forces another very good save after more good work from guess who? Bajrami, and your boy Jefte. But then going in to the second half, just 3 or 4 minutes in, a corner comes in, Tavernier whips it in, and it's, I'd actually say it's less contact in the 35th minute, in the 38th minute, but clearly the referee's been told he's got the stuff wrong, and that should be a penalty. Maybe he's sitting there reading through the hingy book saying, you know what I mean, I've had a hard shift this week, but is that a penalty? I don't know anymore, because it's the exact same, if not less, contact, but this time he points to the spot. The word consistency is something that needs to be broken up again, because I'm confused why the one in the 49th minute is a penalty, but the one in the 38th and the one in the 35th actually isn't. But I know he's saying, oh my god, the guy's got one penalty but he wants 3. No, I just want him to explain to me and show a bit of consistency. Aye, Dessers was flung about all day, you know what I mean, and I didn't understand why he only got one of them. But referee rant to one side, by the way, the chance that we kind of skipped over was a beautiful ball into the mixer, and Dessers hit a scissor kick. I'm still getting pulled in that incident, but that one's not a penalty for me. It was ending up being a good save, as we mentioned. But I want to talk about half-time and pull it back to half-time for one change, and that was Sterling off for Diamandi. Now, I was expecting Diamandi to get rotated out today, but maybe Raskin in there built him back up, because again, he's a midfielder, and where we love, Sterling can play anywhere. Sterling's the boss. He can see heat maps everywhere. Where we love all that, I feel like now we're in a position where we need to pick what Sterling is and play him in there. No, just for our benefit, but for his own benefit, because I'm worried about him getting lost in the shuffle, and it reminds me a lot of Ross McCrory. Now, again, Sterling's a better player than Ross was at that time, but do you remember Ross during that run at his Rangers career? He was CDM, he was centre back, he was right back, he was centre back, he went back to centre mid, and he could never find his place in the team, and he eventually fell away for it after the seasons went by. And I feel like Sterling today getting substituted off, being as poor as he was, is a wee bit of a warning sign to me, is let's let the laddie play in a position and develop him right there. And for me, I think we all know what position that is. That's right back. I feel like at some point this season, we're going to need to pull the trigger and let the laddie play there, because he's no a midfielder. We've got a midfielder there, his name's Raskin. It's just a shame Clement doesn't like him. But I know Tavernier got a goal and assist today, so people will be screaming at me, but that's the change for me, and I think it needs to happen at some point this season. But before we talk about the goal and assist, Dundee's biggest chance and best chance of the game, and almost best moment from a Rangers goalkeeping point of view, came in the 52nd minute of the match from their own set piece. Suter is a bit weak here in the air, as Silla ironically was involved in everything. He was either chucking Dessers down or he was winning headers, but he climbs on the back of Suter, just bullies him in the air. We've seen it too many times. He headers it to the back post where Simon Murray's there, gets the shot away, and it's an absolutely fantastic point blank save and reaction double save from Jack Butland to stop this from being 2-1, stopping the Arsees for clenching and stopping what could potentially have went from a positive performance to a nippy one, and that's what we expect for Jack Butland. That was Jack Butland through the first 6 months of last season before it started to go a little bit peely-wally. It was great to see Jack Butland remembering he's got hands, and again I go back to the incident around about the 22nd minute where he seemed to get that confidence back. I just wonder if we're seeing that save, if he's not had that moment and had that moment with the fans after it. He was back to his best, and that's as good as it gets in the goalkeeping position that you'll see in Scotland. Massive against Simon Murray there, and we eventually get it clear. But again, that big save gives us the platform to go ahead and build on it, and build on it we started to do as we forced the Dundee goalkeeper into phenomenal saves, especially the one where Czerny does brilliant work, plays it into Dessers, who maybe takes too many touches, but it falls to Bajrami, sort of just outside the box, or sorry, just inside the box. He just rattles a shot. That save there is outrageous for the goalie, because not only does he get a hand on it, he gets it up and away for another set piece. But thankfully Silla had stopped trying to cuddle Dessers at that point, because he had his actual warning for the referee and was punished for fouling Dessers one of the 3 times he done it. But that's a brilliant save there. He then had another good save as more good work gets played. It actually starts with Tavernier this time into Czerny. Czerny then finds Tom Lawrence. Tom Lawrence tries a wee curler, ends up deflecting off the, I think it's the centre-back's head, and it goes up, makes it a wee bit more difficult for the goalie. But it's another good save. These are 3 or 4 good saves that stop this from being a bona fide pumping. But where it looked like it was going to be a frustrating day for the guys that's been sitting here banging the bajrami drum, play him, start him, play him, start him, we were going to be robbed of an assist. The 68th minute happened and it was glorious. Just as his cross in the first half was on the Murray, this one's even better, and guess what? It starts with you know who, Big Jeff doing the left hand side, plays into Bajrami. Bajrami then curls it beautifully into the path of Dessers, who instinctively just buries it into the back of the net, and he's got a bit of the Kenny Millerisms, you know what I mean? When he's got less time to think, Dessers is a better striker. When he's got too much time, it's like I could do this, I could do that. But when he's just got to strike it, when it's just instinctive, he puts the ball at the back of net, and that's the best of Dessers. Now, obviously, he was upset again about getting substituted off, but you should just look at Tony, 2 goals his career, and what happens when you're on 2 goals at this football club is there's nothing that's more protected than the hat-trick bonus in our strikers' contracts, because the second they're on 2 goals, they're getting yanked off, no matter who's in the actual dugout. But again, that gave Iggy an opportunity to come in, and right away, just the crowd get behind him as he's got 2 players on his back wrestling for him, but he holds them both off, plays it back to the defence, and it's just wee things like that, and maybe the Barron challenge about the 69th minute as well, that just gets fans up. That's football to us. It's not just goals and assists and expected goals and expecting this, it's that as well. We love the dirty stuff, we love the hard working stuff. That is what we want to see. We want to see a hard working team that doesn't shy away for the fight. Iggy showed that, Barron showed that, and it just kept the atmosphere up in the air, and it kept us building in the right direction. It is worth noting, by the way, before Bajrami did get substituted off in the game, the minute before, it was him, Big Jeff again, combining brilliantly down the left hand side. This time it was Jeff that was running down after a beautiful ball for Bajrami, and Jeff's cross is just a little bit behind Iggy, and that stops that from being a goal. But aye, that left hand side for 68, 69 minutes, whatever it did, until it was broken up by the substitutions, were absolutely standing, and it was our main point of attack. Now you might be thinking, CJ, why you not broke down the Tavernier goal? Why you not mention the Tavernier? You talked about the penalty, you talked about being 2-0, then you've talked about it being 3-0. Why are you not talking about the Tav penalty? Because I wanted to wait, because his substitution was also very interesting after a bit of a blunder a couple minutes before, as he tried to do a blind back pass that forced Jack Butland into a phenomenal save. You know what I mean? He's keeping Jackie's confidence all the way up. He then was involved in a sharp counter-attack as well, that then set up 3 or 4 Rangers players that should have really buried it into the back of net, but unfortunately Diamande spoons it over. But then Tavernier got substituted off, right? And I wanted to save it to this point in the video, because you saw what his reaction was. I think Clement was just letting him know, the fans on that were cheering him, he just wanted to give him that moment. And look, Tavernier was what he is now, right? He's not what he was in previous years. He's not been able to carry us. This lad, for all his faults and his frustrations, has carried a lot of flack, and I'll never understand the pressure and the mental stress it must be to carry the captain's armband to a team like Rangers when your opposition is winning and your opposition's much better to you both on and off the park. Not too many people's ever been in this laddie's position, and again, some people's turned their back on him, some people appreciate him, but it was nice to see him get that moment, get his goal and get his assist. Now, was he great in the game? No, again, he was beat a couple of times for pace. We know where he is right now, but while he's here, this is what you're probably going to get for him. And again, the stats stat lovers will talk about goals and assists. That's what he got in the day. But aye, it was a nice moment, obviously, for him to get a wee bit of the crowd, considering what happened to him a couple of weeks ago and everything like that. But again, I still didn't change my stance. And at some point this season, we're going to need to put the team first at some point and make the change where it needs to be made. But it was great to see Tavernier get his goal and get his assist and again get that send-off in the game of football. That's the way it should be. That's the way it would have went in the summer if he did go ahead and leave. But again, he stayed on maybe a wee bit too long. He's not been performing well. He's regressing. The team's been poor. And it sort of went to a really, really toxic, negative place. But aye, that's good to see him getting clapped off in that way. It's good to see him getting that moment. But again, I'm still wanting the handing over, the heir to the successor, and Sterling eventually played at right back. So to answer any questions I'm going to get, does the penalty and does the shot that eventually went into Dessers' path be, and I says, change my thoughts and opinions on the right back going forward? Nah. Not Disney. But again, I can't no pretend a wee bit my heart's playing in that. It's nice to see someone that spent many years here get that type of game or that goal, or get that reception, whatever you want to watch. A bit of the romance, if you will. But again, make the change so we stop hating on James Henry Tavernier. But that was it. We had a couple of chances. Eggman has one from a corner again with that front post Joe Rebo-esque run, which forces another save into the keeper. We have another couple shots. Ross McCosman was looking sharp. Plays in Eggman, whose shot just goes a little bit wide. Ross had another wee one. Oscar had another shot. And again, there's loads of wee ifs and maybes, but it's very late at night. I want you to enjoy whatever you've got left of your Saturday, and obviously enjoy your tomorrow where you're watching the NFL or where you're just enjoying what will hopefully be a sunny day. But no, in Scotland, it probably won't be. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Again, Dessers gets the goals, Tavernier gets the headlines, but for me, the man of the match was the young Brazilian left back. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. And just a wee brief thing, by the way, because I know not everybody watches the preview videos. You just wait for the recaps. If you are still here, this will probably be the last recap that's on time. I'm going to Sweden for the Malmo game, and the way that the tickets and the flights and everything are actually gone is I'm basically going at the game, making my way to the airport and then coming straight back. It's a very, very tight schedule, so hopefully I didn't miss anything in that. But I just wanted to let you know, in case there is people that just watch the recaps, you're not going to hear me remind you in the preview video. If there's no preview video on the Thursday night, don't worry about your boy. He's probably just on a flight, and I'll post my reaction to the Malmo game probably around about lunchtime on the Friday. You know how it goes with normally the European games. They're a wee bit delayed because of flights, etc, etc. But aye, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I'll maybe see you for the preview video on Wednesday. If not, I'll see you probably Friday morning for the recap. But until then, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that game. Who impressed you, and what your thoughts are now regarding this 11 and stepping us forward as a football club. It'd be great to see you, and as always, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye bye.